It is that time for my response to a tweet. And today's tweet says, grab this here. My candidate speaks for me. That's why he gets my support. Fix Beyonce, because that's un-American. My candidate speaks for me. That's why he gets my support. Fix Beyonce, because that's un-American. Wow. Politics and Beyonce in the same sentence. Who would have knew? But here's my response to this tweet. This is the kind of thought process that's going to help us complete this fundamental transformation of America. This is that kind of thought process. You're supporting your candidate because he speaks for you. Let me put this up. Okay, we're referring to Beyonce's Super Bowl celebration. The coolest thing about America is our First Amendment. If we don't have the ability to protect the First Amendment, and we're going to pick and choose who gets to get protected by the First Amendment and who doesn't get protected by the First Amendment, outside of someone using speech to call for the murdering or the killing or the whatever, we are fundamentally transformed. This is the amazing thing. In responding to this tweet, I'm watching the responses to everybody in Beyonce. They're saying that, they're doing everything, calling her everything. Beyonce, whether it be misguided or not, she used her platform to speak to an issue in a way that she wanted to speak to, in the way she wanted to do it. And she used her star-studdedness, she used her platform, she used her money, she used her time, she used the cries of a certain segment of society. Americans. And she used her platform and her creativity to cater to that thought process. I'm watching people say, what if the Ku Klux Klan did it? Well, guess what, people? Believe it or not, for you historians, the Ku Klux Klan did do it. They used their platform, they used their influence and their money, and they went out and advocated on behalf of whatever cause they had. The historical accuracy of their advocation was what? For white supremacy. And they used their creativity or whatever to advocate on behalf of what they felt. The unfortunate side of that history is that in the process of supporting their advocacy, they were killing people. They were terrorizing people. They were scaring people. The American people, the Ku Klux Klan were Americans too, the American people came to a decision that that type of advocacy is not appreciated in America. And so we went through the process of making laws and making and ostracizing and marginalizing the approach of the Ku Klux Klan. So for the people to say, what if the Klan would have did what Beyonce did? They did what Beyonce did and far worse. So let's move on past that. First of all, I don't agree with what she did. But I do agree with her as an American, she can have her First Amendment rights. The people who are saying that she should get out of this country, they were saying all kinds of things to this American using her platform to speak to a certain group of people that have whatever grievance she felt she wanted to use her artistic abilities to address. And she had supporters. There is a segment of society that totally agreed with what Beyonce did. The funniest part about it is probably this person complaining about what Beyonce did doesn't even know what Beyonce did until somebody told you what she did. That's probably the funniest part. You didn't even know that the X on her thing was acknowledging Malcolm X. You didn't know that the black leather was the Black Panther. You didn't know that the fist that they were having in their picture was the Black Panther power fist. You didn't know until somebody told you. And then now you're getting upset. Like she's a danger to America. No, she's representing a certain segment of our country. And she used her artistic ability to speak to it. Now, here's the most amazing part of it. Is you're starting your tweet out with saying that your candidate speaks for you. That's why they get your support. I don't know what candidate it is. But let's say if it was Donald Trump. He speaks for a certain segment of the America. And he's doing it in a way that a lot of people don't agree with. But he has his supporters. And you're protecting him and his First Amendment rights. I can disagree totally with some of the stuff that he says, with a lot of the stuff he says, but I, Phil Williams, will protect his First Amendment rights to say it. And anybody that wants to come and take away his First Amendment rights to say it, I will call them un-American. So if it's Ted Cruz, if we want to say he's lying and misrepresenting people's cases, now we've been caught him with 3 different things now. What his campaign did to Ben Carson, what he did with the endorsement, and something else that I'll probably figure it out later on in the show. But the point is this, I protect his First Amendment rights to do it. If Marco Rubio is a robot, I protect his First Amendment rights to be a robot. If Chris Christie wants to be calling Marco Rubio out on it and ridicule him for it, I protect his First Amendment rights to do it. And anybody else. Now here's the catch. If we as the American people do not protect and start having the mindset of their right to do it, this is what our founders founded this country on. That's why it's the First Amendment. They didn't make it the 10th Amendment. They made it the very first one because the ingredients are listed according to their importance. That's the first important one. Your ability to say what it is that you want to say, as long as you are not murdering or calling for the advocacy of murdering people, causing us some kind of panic to where people die. If people's feelings get hurt, that's different. We sound like we do not want to defend the First Amendment, so we start having a mindset to where we will not participate in being in America or anything else or protect America, and we don't want to protect people's First Amendment rights, their ability to do it. So when it comes down to the election time, if you keep on with this thought process, there is no possible way that we're going to be able to come together and fight what's really, really detrimental to America. See, Beyonce's performance is really a byproduct of what? Liberalism. But see, when you focus on Beyonce and what she did and the Black Panthers and things of this nature, you miss it. The thing is this. If you focus on what your candidate is saying and that's where your support goes, that means if your candidate does not win, that means you stay home with your candidate. We lose to liberalism. We lose, people, and I don't think you really truly understand the magnification of or the significance of this loss. If you have an utter disdain for Beyonce, the Black Panthers, or whatever, Barack Obama, whatever, all you have to do is stop looking at the personality, know that it is liberalism, and you should have a bigger disdain for that because that's what's going to destroy our country. And that thought process that you have of not understanding people's First Amendment and protect Beyonce and protect your candidate at the same time. Protect all the candidates. But we have to protect conservatism and the Constitution more than our candidates. Because if we don't, this election will determine if we stop the fundamental transformation of this country or we help liberals complete it. We are looking at fundamental completion based on your articulation of who should get to speak and who shouldn't get to speak. That goes for your candidate, and that goes for your articulation of Beyonce. This is a very dangerous precedent that we're participating in. And we are sitting at the last heave-ho of the fundamental transformation of America. And we have to protect the First Amendment more than we protect a person's point of view. Else we can just hand our country over to liberalism and we'll never get it back. Hey, I'm Phil Williams. That's my response to this tweet on The Phil Williams Show.